The guy was studying a large document. I just had to sneak a look at those plans.
Hey, get out of there.
You know, wherever I go, I hear those words. Paris, Syria, Ireland, or Spain. Makes no difference.
What do you think you're doing?
I was trying to show some interest in your project. It looked like a set of plans. The guy was studying a large document. Hi, is this Ketch's Landing?
Yeah, that's right.
My name's George Stobart. You're a surveyor, right, Mr.
Bronson. And of course I'm a surveyor. Why the hell else would I have a theodolite?
I don't know. Hobby, maybe?
Yeah, right. What brings you here, anyway?
I'm searching for an ancient Mayan artifact.
What is it? Some kind of jewel?
No, it's obsidian. A black stone with supposedly mystic powers.
You're nuts.
Look at this. An article about a total eclipse of the sun.
Oh, yeah? Listen, I don't want to be rude, but it just comes naturally. I really don't care.
This is similar to the stone I'm looking for.
What makes you think you'll find it here?
Because when the stones were stolen in the 17th century...
Hold it! The stones have been lost for 300 years?
Approximately.
And you're hoping to find them again? You're nuts. And why here?
A wise old Indian shaman told me he saw the stones in a vision.
Ha ha. That's rich. Listen, I got work to do, okay?
Catch you later, Bronson. I recognized the instrument as a theodolite, but I had no idea how to operate it. I couldn't get to the theodolite while the surveyor was using it. It was a net left to dry in the sunshine. I didn't want a fishing net. The kid looked about 11 or 12. He was fishing with the intense concentration of someone who had all the time in the world. It was a seaworthy little craft, in bad need of a coat of paint, but spotlessly clean and maintained. I didn't know the first thing about sailing a dinghy.
You want to buy some fish?
Nah, I don't like fish. What's your name?
Rio. It means river. What about you?
George. It means, well, it's just a name. Do you know anything about a forthcoming eclipse?
No, but that explains why the weather's about to get real bad.
Rio, it's a beautiful day. There's no more than a whisker of cloud in the sky.
Trust me, man, it's going to get real bad.
Do you know anything about pirate treasure?
Man, that's all stories. There's no such thing as a real pirate treasure.
No school today?
No, sir.
What about your education?
I can fish, sail, and swim. I've been looking after myself since I was 6, and I'm bilingual.
Aren't you a little overqualified for a beach bum?
Well, you know, there's a lot of competition.
Is it true that Captain Ketch lived around here?
That's right. That's his house up on the hill. It's a museum now.
Yeah? That's exactly what I need. Thanks, kid.
You won't get inside, you know. The old ladies close it down.
Who are these old ladies you mentioned?
Miss Frost and Miss Mina Ketch.
How come the old ladies closed the museum?
It's Bronson's doing. Him have the plans for redeveloping the museum. They're going to regret it, you know. The man's a crook.
What do you know about Captain Ketch?
Just what everybody knows around here. He was a pirate and get himself hung.
Will you help me get those plans?
I don't want to go nowhere near that man. He promised to drown me when he found the fish I left in his sleeping bag.
A cute little putty-tat. Actually, no. It was a mangy old flea bag. It was busily torturing a red ball. Hi, Puss. Want to play? Hey, cat. Watch where you're putting those claws. It would have been pretty cool to drug the cat, but I didn't have the heart. And besides which, those sisters would kill me. It was a sturdy, extendable ladder. The ladder extended easily. It was an old house. It was locked.
The house is closed.
How come?
It is undergoing refurbishment.
Refurbishment? Where are the workmen?
Preparation is half the work, young man. The intention is to prepare the museum for the new century.
The Frederick Ketch Memorial Museum. It would look nice in neon.
A museum for a pirate? There was a stony silence.
Frederick Ketch was emphatically not a pirate. It's precisely the sort of vile misrepresentation that Mr. Bronson is seeking to rebalance.
Oh? How?
Mr. Bronson has kindly agreed to undertake the museum's refurbishment at a very reasonable price. He understands the importance of a sense of history.
Funny. That's not the impression I got of Bronson at all.
He also understands spherical geometry.
Mina?
Well, he does.
Listen, ma'am. I came a long way to visit this place.
If we make an exception in your case, everyone will want to get in.
Pardon me, but I didn't exactly have to fight my way through the crowds.
You're the second visitor we've had today.
No, I'm sorry, but it's impossible.
The ladder reached all the way up to the flagpole.
You there? What are you doing?
Pardon me, ladies. I was just going to climb your ladder. I'm helping Bronson.
Oh, you're not like him, are you? He's very polite, isn't he, Frost? And he has dimples when he smiles.
Get down!
Sorry. It was a flagpole, one of a pair. I couldn't reach it. The flagpole had some sort of technical gadget on the end. I couldn't reach the flagpole, and a bush stopped me from moving the ladder across. The house's windows looked out over the bay. It was a closed window. The window was locked. Two old ladies were sitting outside the house, enjoying afternoon tea. A large tree stood beside the house, with a suggestive U formed by the branches. I couldn't think of any reason to climb the tree. Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stobart. Would you care for tea?
No, thank you, ma'am. I don't like tea. I've been talking to Rio, the little fisher boy.
I'll thank you not to mention that little wretch in my presence.
Dirty little whelk. Nasty fishy boy.
That will do, Mina.
I gather you don't have much time for the little boy.
That child is a delinquent, Mr. Stobart.
Yeah, well, he's only, what, 11, maybe?
A knave with one hand on the tops.
What is it about Rio that you don't like, Miss Frost?
Well, once upon a time, he and Emily...
Be quiet this instant, Mina.
Can you tell me anything about Captain Ketch?
More than you can tell me about your great-great-great-great-grandfather, no doubt.
You're his descendants?
Certainly. Captain Ketch was born in Dorset, England, in the reign of King Henry VIII. His family were undistinguished farmers, but young Frederick Ketch decided to go to sea.
We have plenty of seamen in our family, Mr. Stobart.
Are you interested in history, Mr. Stobart?
Yes, I am. Frederick Ketch sounds like he was a pirate to me.
As I have already told you, sir, he was not a pirate.
They hanged him, you know, down there on the beach in front of his family. Didn't bother with the trial, just whipped him out from his breakfast table and hoisted him up in chains.
Well, if he wasn't a pirate, what did they hang him for?
Envy. Pure green-eyed envy. He had been a successful privateer, you see, and had accumulated great wealth.
As rich as a mink in a paddock.
Shut up, Mina.
Yes, Frost.
The small-minded governor and his lackeys wanted his money, trumped up some ridiculous charge about breaking the conditions of his letter of marque, and hanged him like a common thief. The blackguards!
Letter of marque?
The document that permitted him to engage and destroy the enemies of the crown. The difference between a lawful privateer and a pirate. Yoo-hoo! Sorry, Frost.
Well, why didn't Ketch just say, take a hike, guys, I've got a pirating license?
Frederick Ketch was not a pirate.
But he did show them his letter of marque.
But they destroyed it and hanged him anyway.
You were telling me about Captain Ketch. Do go on.
Oh, yes. He sailed under Hawkins.
Jim Hawkins?
John Hawkins, one of the great traders of the Elizabethan age. In 1568, Frederick Ketch was a young man serving aboard the Jesus, Hawkins' flagship. They sailed from England to Africa and across the wide Atlantic to these islands. Ketch was never to see the shores of England again.
How come Ketch never made it home?
Because the Spaniards sank the Jesus in an act of treachery.
You said Hawkins' fleet traded between Africa and the Indies. What was it they were trading?
Black men with no shirts.
You have to understand, Mr. Stobart, that this was the 16th century.
But that doesn't alter the fact that Hawkins and Ketch were slavers and pirates.
Would it surprise you to learn that Hawkins was also a devoutly religious man?
He transported slaves in a ship named after Jesus Christ. In my book, that makes him a hypocrite. What happened to Ketch? Was he killed?
Oh, no. He got away and returned to this island, to this very house.
The Frederick Ketch Memorial Museum.
What can you tell me about Emily?
Emily? What business can she be of yours?
Her parents were killed in a typhoon.
We, as her only living relatives, took it upon ourselves to raise the child.
That's good to know Charity isn't dead.
Oh, but she is. Washed overboard in the typhoon.
Mr. Stobart wasn't talking about Emily's mother. He was being sarcastic.
What else can you tell me about Emily?
How dare you pry into our family in this way? I refuse to answer any more of your impertinent questions.
Is that your cat?
Yes, it is.
That's Ruddles.
Do you like cats, Mr. Stobart?
You bet. Especially spit roast. You're really fond of that cat, aren't you?
He is our companion and our solace.
I thought about catnapping the little monster until they let me in, but it wasn't my style. Maybe there was some other way I could use their affection for the cat to get me into the house. Okay, it was time for diversionary tactics. I thought I saw a little girl down on the beach.
You must be mistaken.
He must be mistaken. Mustn't he, Frost?
I'm sure I'm not. A little girl and that young fisher boy.
What? It's not possible. What were they doing?
Oh, the kinds of things that all little boys and girls get up to at their age.
When I was a little girl, we used to play cows and milkmaids.
Well betide you if you're lying to us, Mr. Stobart. Heaven help you.
With a creak of ancient corsetry, the sisters sailed majestically over the distant horizon. How come the old ladies closed the museum?
It's Branson's doing. Him have the plans for redeveloping the museum. Oh, I know all about Mr. Branson's plans.
Tell me about your friend Emily.
Why are you so interested in Emily Ketch?
Emily Ketch? A descendant of Captain Ketch, the pirate?
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't bother you?
why should it? We don't responsible for our ancestors.
Can you let me have a fish, kid?
I thought you say you don't like fish.
It's not for me. It's a present.
For the old ladies? Well, it makes a change from flowers and candy.
No, it's for their cat.
Okay. What do I get out of it?
I can pay you. I've got Quaramontian dollars, French francs, and traveler's checks.
You must be joking. The nearest bank is 3 islands away.
Will you give me a fish if I give you these, Rio, are these ugly, tasteless nylon panties worth a fish?
No, man.
Is this worm worth a fish?
Could be good bait. How did it die?
I think it drowned in tequila.
Just like my Uncle Gabriel. Yeah, I'll have that. Okay, I'll get you a fish. It might take a while, though.
What are you doing with the theodolite?
Surveying the old house. I got great plans for this place.
Oh, yeah?
You bet. Take a look around. What do you see?
Paradise.
I see opportunity. This place is ripe for development.
I like it just the way it is.
And that's where we differ. You see, Mr. Stobart, I'm what you might call a man of vision. I see a great future for Ketch's Landing, and it all starts here, with that house. Say, was that kid giving you trouble?
The Fisher boy? No, he was very polite.
Ha! He's a juvenile delinquent. I suppose he told you I was a crook.
Yeah, he did, now you mention it.
One of these days, that kid's gonna have a boating accident, even if I have to hold his head under myself.
Tell me about the two old ladies.
Who? The Ketch sisters. One of them's crazy as a coot, and the other will turn you to stone if you're not careful.
Did you see the sisters go by?
Yeah, they wanted to string that Fisher brat up. Of course, I told them where to find him.
A fink, as well as a creep. Nice.
But he'd managed to vanish somehow.
How do you survey a house like that?
I've put a target reflector on the end of one of the flagpoles up there on the house. I sight on it from various locations through the theodolite, record the angles along the baseline, and triangulate them to give me the exact position of the target. Understand?
Why the end of the flagpole? Wouldn't it have been better on a corner of a wall or something?
Are you a surveyor?
No, my degree's in law.
Then shut up.
Can I take a look at your plans?
No way! What interest would they be to you, anyhow?
I've always had a secret desire to be a surveyor.
You have?
Sure. I mean, you surveyors are just like the great explorers, aren't you? Henry the Navigator, Vasco da Gama, Chris Columbus. Maybe you don't sail uncharted seas or discover new continents, but you're okay in my book.
Horseshit. You just stay away from those plans, you hear?
Catch you later, Bronson. Did you see the weird sisters come by here?
Did I? They look madder than usual, so I hide until they're gone by.
Just as well. They thought you were playing with Emily. Boy, were they steamed.
Emily, you're madder than them.
I think Bronson is trying to cheat those sweet, vulnerable old ladies.
That's a little unfair, isn't it?
Okay, he's trying to cheat those seriously demented, poisonous old ladies.
You have to admire his acumen.
No luck with a fish?
No, man. They don't want bite. That's 'cause they know there's a storm brewing.
Storm? I don't think so.
Hey, I caught a bite.
You have?
It's a big one. A real big one.
Reel him in, Rio. Jeez, it must be a whale or something.
Rustiest whale I ever see.
I still need a fish, Rio.
Okay, make me try again.
Maybe you better change your bait. It was half a rusting bicycle frame. The only serviceable part of the bicycle's wreck was a rubber inner tube. You just never know when you're going to need stuff like that. There was nothing else on the bicycle wreck I could use. Rio had gone back to fishing.
There's a fish, my man.
I can't put it in my pocket while it's flapping about like that.
No problem.
that should get the old cat dancing. I just hoped it didn't give itself a cardiac. It was the ball the cat had left in favor of the bouncing fish. A cute little putty tat. Actually, no. It was... I didn't have a flag on me, so the flagpole would have to stay bare. I put the ball in the catapult, took aim. Yes! Okay, so it was a lucky shot, but I knocked the theodolite target clean off the end of the flagpole.
What the hell's going on here?
Hi, Bronson. Nice to see you, too.
You again. Have you been screwing around with my theodolite target? Where is it? I had to climb out of the window to put that one on. Damn it, I'm gonna have to go through all that again.
Not this time. The house is locked up and the sisters aren't here.
Hell's teeth! I'll have to put the spare target on the other flagpole. A whole morning's work wasted. I'm gonna fix all this and then I'm gonna fix you, you hear?
Yeah? Fine. I'll be waiting. What you doing, Bronson? Just hanging around?
I'm gonna kill you for this, Stobart! Get me down from here!
What, so you can kill me? Gee, you talked me out of it, Bronson. I felt a little guilty about leaving Bronson up there, but not much, obviously. It was Bronson's surveying target. He must have dropped it when he had his accident. The marker was a bright, shiny thing, and I have a weakness for bright, shiny things. It wasn't going to be much use without the theodolite, though.
Hey, get me down!
What's the magic word?
Please!
Oh, bad luck. I was thinking of Alakazam. I had no more to talk to him about. Bronson was dangling from the flagpole like the worm on Rio's fishing pole. It looked like a set of plans. With Bronson out of the way, I could finally get a clear look at the plans. Engineers' drawings didn't mean much to me, but one thing was clear. These plans were for a 5-story, 200-roomed, luxury, pirate-themed hotel. Another stain on the bedspread of paradise.
You there! Why is Mr. Bronson hanging from that flagpole?
He climbed up there of his own accord.
Then help him, you stupid man! Quickly, before he falls!
You know, hanging from flagpoles suits you.
Get me down!
Not until the old ladies have heard exactly what you had planned. I've got your plans, Bronson. I know about the hotel.
So what? This is between me and the Daves.
Those sweet old ladies trusted you. This isn't what they wanted.
Oh, people like them don't know what they want. Instead of wasting their money on this mausoleum, I can turn it to profit.
But you should have discussed it with them first. If I was to let you down, will you promise to come clean about your plans?
Sure I will.
And you'll come to a tasteful compromise with Miss Frost and Miss Mina?
Taste? What's taste got to do with architecture?
Oh, dear. You'll have to stay where you are until you see sense.
You rat.
Catch you later, Bronson. Hi. Could I ask...
Never mind that. Help poor Mr. Bronson.
Here, Bronson's plans.
This means nothing to me.
She's not wearing her reading glasses.
Ah, wait. Yes, I see now. I see it all too clearly. That man is planning to build a huge hotel. Bronson is a confidence trickster. Mina, we have been duped. I'm glad we didn't sign his contract.
Oh, I hate tricksters, especially confident ones.
Come, Mina. Mr. Bronson, you may consider yourself persona non grata.
Yes, Cave Canum.
Kindly disentangle yourself from our flagpole and eject yourself from our property this very minute.
Disentangle. Eject.
Hey, cut that out, you crazy old bat.
How dare you! Mina isn't crazy, she's just engagingly eccentric.
Yeah, as a bedbug. Ouch!
Lovely as this little vista is, I'd be really grateful if you could let me into the museum now.
Certainly, young man. We are most grateful to you for exposing this scoundrel, Mina the Lock.
Thanks, ladies.
Stobart, be a pal. Get these harpies off me. Ooh!
While George was basking in the sun-drenched Caribbean, I went to London. It was a long shot, but I thought I'd start my search for the Jaguar Stone at the British Museum. The corridor led back to the main entrance. I wasn't leaving here until I'd got what I'd come for. The carving looked Central or South American in style, perhaps Aztec. I doubted I could sneak this enormous stone out under my jacket. It was a woven wall hanging with a South American design. The mask looked more African than American. I didn't want the mask, although it certainly reminded me of somebody. It was a stone identical in size and style to the Coyote stone. However, this stone bore the image of a jaguar. The cabinet was locked. There was nothing very useful in my bag. Just a single hair clip. That's the kind of thing Georges would do, not me. The pots in the case seemed to amuse the girls no end. I had and have no interest in old pots. The two Japanese girls were inexplicably amused by something. Bonjour. I wonder if you could help me. What's so funny? Oh, never mind. The display case contained a couple of vases. Perhaps I'm a Philistine, but old vases bore me. It was a phone, probably for staff only. I didn't need to make a call. The attendant didn't show it, but I sensed he was watching my every move. It was a small, flat square of polished obsidian. Nothing like the one I was looking for. According to the caption, this was the scrying mirror given to Dr. John Dee by Sir Francis Drake. The cabinet was locked. There was a huge carving of somebody who must have been important once. There was nothing I wanted to do with the statue except find out where he bought his hat. Très chic. The carving looked Buddhist in subject, but Mesoamerican in execution. I wanted nothing to do with that statue. It made me nervous somehow. The cabinet contained a dagger decorated with Mayan designs. The cabinet was locked.
Can I help you, miss?
What can you tell me about that stone with a jaguar on it?
The so-called Jaguar stone was brought back from the Americas by Sir Francis Drake and presented, with, as you already know, the more famous scrying mirror, to John Dee.
What's this scrying mirror?
It's a little square of polished obsidian. Mine it is.
And what does it do?
Well, it's a bit like a crystal ball, except flat and black. And you can't see anything in it. Old man Dee had a psychic who reckoned he could speak to the angels through it. I think he was taking Dee for a ride myself. The old loony didn't like the stone, though. Reckoned it was tainted by the devil. Come along, miss. I'll show you the mirror.
I've already... Oh, never mind.
There. John Dee's famous scrying mirror, given to him by Francis Drake.
Do you know if this mirror has any relevance to Tezcatlipoca?
Who? Tizletlik... I can't even say it. Ah, there's someone here who'll be able to help you better than me. This young lady has some questions to ask, Professor.
I think she's from France.
Professor Roubillet?
Eh? What?
You two know each other, do you? Excuse me, the telephone.
We meet again.
Mademoiselle, France, eh?
Yes, I believe that's where you live, Professor.
I have a house there, on the outskirts of Paris, but I haven't been back for many months.
What can you tell me about the Jaguar stone, Professor?
It's obsidian, from the Chichen Itza region.
Professor Oubier, your taxi's here.
If you'll excuse me, I have some urgent business to attend to at the docks.
I didn't think the museum attendant would be interested in a hair grip. Not even a cute one like this. Can you answer me some questions about the Jaguar stone?
Certainly, miss. If you just step this way. It's gone. Some sods half-inched it.
Half-inched?
Stolen it, miss. Never mind. The silent alarm will have been tripped. I'm afraid nobody can leave until our crack security team gets here.
How long will that take?
Could be a while. I think it's their tea break.
The thief could be miles away by then.
Don't you worry about that, miss. Just don't try to leave.
It was too much of a coincidence that Oublier showed up and the stone promptly disappeared. I didn't have time for their crack security team to finish their tea. I had to get after him. It was a small key, intended for a small lock. It would probably be less suspicious if I kept away from the empty case. All that was left inside the cabinet was a card describing the missing stone. I doubted the girls would be any help to me. Don't you think it's suspicious that Oublier has urgent business at the docks?
Not in the slightest, young lady. He's gone to oversee the unloading of cargo, an exhibition of Mayan sculpture on loan from Mexico City.
What's the name of the ship?
The Xibalba Princess, moored down by Tower Bridge. Why do you ask?
Just wondering. I didn't steal the stone. I was nowhere near it.
So who do you suppose did steal it?
It must have been Oublier.
Huh! Begging your pardon, but he's a man of letters. A professor.
So was Moriarty. Man of letters or not, he's your culprit. Thank you. You've been most helpful. The key unlocked the case. I locked the case again and took the key. Take a look at this.
What are you doing with that?
Just looking. What was it used for?
It's a sacrificial dagger, and I'd feel a lot happier if you put it down.
Look at this. The thief left this key in the cabinet.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
That makes the theft an inside job, right?
Oh dear.
In other words, the thief was Professor Oublier.
Well, let's leave that for the police to decide, shall we? I better phone them right away. Hello?
I knew I had nothing to worry about if the police were called.
Yes, I'll hold.
But I had to catch up with Oublier, and fast. I levered the handle open with the thin dagger.
The room had been decorated to resemble the interior of a sailing ship. It was disturbingly effective. It was Captain Ketch's sea chest. Its battered appearance hinted at salty tales of maritime adventure and swashbuckling. Long months at sea with a rum-sodden, mutinous crew, hardtack and scurvy. And this chest, full to the brim with Ketch's loot, pearls, diamonds, emeralds, and doubloons. On the other hand, it could have been full of spare blankets.
Surprise!
What the? Who are you?
I'm Emily.
What were you doing in there, Emily?
Hiding. What are you doing here?
Grown-up stuff.
Grown-ups? I'm never gonna grow up, I'm not. You shouldn't be here. What's your name?
I'm George.
Pleased to meet you, Jaws.
George.
Jaws,
Jeez.
make your mind up.
Do you know how to use a theodolite?
We don't learn anything about surveying at my school. Not until 5th grade.
Would you like to play darts?
No?
Oh, come on. I'll throw, you catch.
That's dangerous. Darts will stick in me and make me bleed.
Look, an ancient Mayan stone.
Is that a magic stone?
Well, I don't know about that.
No.
I bet you can't keep this piece of coal in your mouth for the next half hour.
Could too. I could keep it in my mouth for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah? Go on then. Prove it.
Don't want to. And if you try to make me, I'll tell Aunt Mina.
Why don't you go play with Rio?
I'm not allowed.
How come?
'Cause Aunt Frost says I'm not allowed out of the house. That's why, Mr. Nosy Beak.
Too bad. Why don't you ask your other aunt if you can play with Rio?
Aunt Mina's cuckoo. Aunt Frost says so. She says when the Lord handed out common sense, Aunt Mina was off getting double portions of chin.
That Rio's a smart kid. He helped me outwit Bronson.
Rio is clever. He can spit ever so far.
What can you tell me about Captain Ketch?
That's him on the wall, in the picture.
Yeah? Boy, that's interesting.
He was a sailor captain. This is his house.
The little girl had cute freckles, cute little nose, and the eyes of a KGB interrogator. Around her neck was a large cross on a chain. Fine, as long as she didn't try to convert me. March 20th, 1670 fix. Engaged frigate off Fan Salvador? It was garbage. Huh. I guess being a pirate didn't require too many academic qualifications. The passage went on to describe how Ketch had got wind of the approach of a fleet of English ships. It seemed the new governor had not shared his predecessor's views on Ketch's activities. They were out for his blood. Sailed to that place where I made secure my fortune. I returned safe in the knowledge that the governor shall not discover that which I had hidden. For is it not writ that 'tis easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle? It was an old book with spidery writing covering the open pages. The ship looked too fragile to touch. It was a beautifully crafted model of a sailing ship. It was a neat oil lantern made of brass. It was an actual pirate ship chart. Okay, I've had my hands on an historical document. Now what? The chart fitted exactly into the recess on the top of the desk.
What you doing, Jaws?
I'm putting this old map on the desk
What you doing that for, Jaws?
because it was obviously intended to fit in this recessed area.
How'd you work that out?
It's obvious. It was one of those old pens made out of a feather. That might come in useful in ticklish situations.
What you doing now, Jaws?
Knock it off, will ya? There's something you ought to know. I don't buy cute or lost puppy. I'm just borrowing this feather, that's all.
Why?
I might be able to make use of it.
You gonna steal it? That's bad. I'm gonna tell on you.
No, don't do that.
Why not?
Well, because I'm not stealing, just borrowing. Yow! I should have known better than to put my hand in there. Grandma Stobart had a nasty experience in a water butt once. It was an old wooden barrel. Maybe it was from Ketch's ship. It was a ship's bell.
Two bells and all's well.
Pirates were cool. It was a shiny and very sharp-looking pirate's cutlass. It would have been easy to reach the cutlass and slip it in my pocket. It would also have been the most regrettable action of my life. Maybe that wheel was from Ketch's ship. Suddenly, I was 12 years old again.
Hard a port, bosun. Aye, aye, Captain Stobart.
She cannot take it, Captain. My lad's dead. Abandon ship. Captain Frederick Ketch, 1570. Around his neck was a cross. It was identical to the one the little girl was wearing. It was the portrait of Captain Ketch. The portrait might have made a nice souvenir, but it was too large to carry.
Why don't you run along and play?
Aunt Mina told me. Stay out of mischief.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to stay indoors, does it? On a beautiful day like today?
There's a storm coming.
Oh, nuts. You don't know that.
I do so. I can see the whole world from the window.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm busy.
That cross you're wearing, Emily,
It's my lucky Jesus cross.
it's just like the one Captain Ketch wore.
Uh-huh.
Can I borrow it?
Uh-uh.
What would you trade for that cross, Emily?
A puppy.
Well, I don't happen to have a puppy in my pocket right now. Can you think of anything else you'd trade?
Don't know.
The cat made short work of the feather, tearing it into a blizzard of small pieces. The quill had been mutilated by the cat, leaving shredded feather on the grass. What do you give to a small, irritating girl who asks about everything?
Try a conch. Delicate colors, interesting shape, and when you put it to your ear, you can hear the sea.
Yeah, why's that?
Usually because you're standing next to it.
Cool. Have you got one?
Yeah, but I promised it to my sister. She well vexed with me.
Why is your sister mad with you?
Well, last night when I got home with our supper, she went wild. Rio, she said, how come all you ever catch is puffer fish? A sicker puffer fish. What I want is tiger fish. So don't bother come back home till you catch one, boy. I don't see how I'm gonna catch no tiger fish. All I have is a fishing pole and a worm.
What do you need to catch a tiger fish?
One of them real fancy flies like the rich fishermen use.
Hey, this is just what you need to make a fly.
Thanks. Let's hope them tiger fish hungry. A deal's a deal. Here's a conch.
Here, I've got a conch. Would you like it?
Dunno. Aunt Frost told me never to take presents from strange men.
I'm not a strange man.
Then why are you called Jaws, Jaws? That's a stupid name.
I'm not called... Look, conch, pretty, swap for the cross, yes or no? Right, this thing's going out the window.
Okay, we'll do swapsies.
Ketch's cross slipped snugly into the penholder.
What you doing now?
Grown-up stuff.
I doubt that.
I've put your cross in this little hole in the desk.
Why?
Impulse, mainly, with a dash of irrational intuition.
Silly. Only women have intuition.
Holding that lantern, I felt kinda biblical. Like Jesus or Florence Nightingale. The lantern fitted so precisely in the inkwell, it could only be deliberate. Before you ask, I've put the lantern in the inkwell. See? It fits.
Why?
Because it was cut to fit.
Why?
Because sneaky old Captain Ketch made it that way.
Why?
What is with all the questions?
Because I'm interested.
Why?
Because I have the insatiable curiosity of the young.
Why?
All right. Truce.
The lantern cast a strong light over the desktop. The light cast a shadow of the cross. And the shadow fell precisely over a small, unnamed island shaped like a skull. That must be it. Ketch's Treasure Island.
Uh-oh. That's Zombie Island. It's a bad place.
No kidding? Well, bad place or not, that's my next port of call.
Can I come too?
The hell you can.
I never get to leave the house.
Would you take me to, Zombie Island?
In this weather? You madman.
The rain will keep the zombies indoors. Just say I did meet a zombie. What would you do?
There ain't no zombies on Zombie Island. At least, not anymore. It's uninhabited.
Good. What do you mean, not anymore?
You still want to go?
I guess.
Well, I ain't had no luck with them tiger fish. And with the mood my sister is in, I'll be safer with the zombies.
So, this was Zombie Island. Somehow I'd been expecting something more sinister. Come on, Rio. Let's find that treasure.
No thanks. I'm staying right here.
Oh, come on. You said yourself there's no zombies left.
Yeah, but that was while there was a big pile of seawater between me and this place. All me have now is this little bit between the boat and the shore, and I'm hanging on to it.
It was Rio waiting patiently in his fishing boat. That Emily sure asks a lot of questions.
Rest it, man. This whole Emily business just isn't funny.
Look, we're obviously at cross purposes here. I'm talking about Emily Ketch.
Yeah, and so am I. She was my friend. Her aunts hated it, but we did move together, you know. She used to be real keen at hide and seek. It could take hours to find her. One time, the last time, it took days. She must have shouted and screamed herself hoarse, but there was nobody to hear her.
Where'd she hidden herself?
Captain Ketch's old sea chest. The only way to open it was from the outside.
Suddenly, I didn't feel so good. We never exchanged another word about Emily Ketch.
The cliff stopped me getting off the beach. The cliff was steep, too steep to climb without handholds. And I couldn't find any. The outcrop was about the only feature on the cliff face. It was too high. I couldn't get up there.
There was nothing else I wanted to ask the boy.
Rio's boat was strewn with fishing nets and tackle. It was the boat that Rio had brought me in.
Could I borrow your net?
Yeah, man, no problem. You planning on catching some fish?
Nope. I'm after a big rock. Well, here I go. Wish me luck, Rio.
Good luck, George. Watch out for the walking dead.
I stumbled down dark stairwells for what seemed like forever, until suddenly I found myself, wow, in an abandoned London Underground station. This place must have been closed down decades ago. I pushed the hair clip into the slot and whatever was stuck there disappeared into the machine. I pulled out an old English penny. An ancient bar of chocolate dropped into the tray at the bottom of the machine. And as a special bonus, the penny dropped through to the reject bucket. I pulled out an old English penny. I took the ancient bar of chocolate. The machine looked like it had sold its last ticket a long time ago. It was an old ticket machine. A sign read, "Tickets 3D." The ghost didn't seem threatening in any way. The ghost obviously didn't want to talk. Perhaps it was shy. The machine wasn't about to weigh me for nothing. I put the old penny into the slot, the needle twitched rustily, and the machine spat out a card. A latch lock stopped me getting into the cupboard. It was a maintenance cupboard. The blade of the dagger just fitted between the door and the soft wood frame. The door gave slightly, and then held firm. I remembered my student days when I regularly forgot my house keys. A wiggle with the thick card between the frame and the lock, and the latch lifted. I'd probably break my neck if I climbed over the sleepers, or worse, a heel. I'd probably break my neck if I climbed over the sleepers, or worse, a heel. I had the feeling something weird awaited me if I went that way. Who the hell are you?
Joey, is that you?
Oh, I remember you now. Hey, listen, don't go near that hole.
Nobody tells Robert Foster what to do, lady.
You don't understand. I've played this game before. There's something horrible in that hole. Some beast with tentacles.
You're nuts.
They don't make animations like that anymore. It might have been a nice souvenir if it hadn't been torn and dirty. It was a poster advertising holidays in Scotland. LBS Lubs? What are lubs? The date on the poster was before I was born. The poster was advertising a play I'd never heard of. It looked just like the modern one. It was an old map of the London Underground. The train signal light still worked. A warning sign saying high voltage convinced me to leave the lights alone. It was too dangerous to start walking along the tracks. I remembered what always happened to Wile E. Coyote when he did that. It was the tunnel the train had come out of. The train was my ride out of there. I could worry about not having a ticket when I got to the docks.
The path led off into the forest. A clump of reeds grew out of the stinking swamp. Nothing, I mean nothing, would possess me to step into that swamp. It was a stagnant swamp. Another tree-lined path leading to more trees and paths.
There was something in that hole beneath the rock. As soon as I stooped to investigate the hole, its inhabitant disappeared into the darkness. The end of the reed was too narrow for the dart to fit into. The end of the reed had been neatly bitten off. Now I knew what was living in there. A long-toothed, snarling, furry wild thing. The dart fitted snugly into the reed. Great. I was tooled up and dangerous. The path led off towards the center of the island. It was a stout, overhanging branch. If I jumped, I could just about reach the branch. Climbing the tree wasn't going to help any in this situation. Yet another path led off into the forest. Yet another path led off into the forest. The rock was partially overgrown by creepers. The creeper just came away from the rock as I pulled it. It was a needle of rock in the middle of the clearing. It didn't look like a natural formation. I remembered Ketch's log. For is it not writ that 'tis easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle? It seemed pretty relevant now. No good. I'd have to be bitten by a radioactive spider before I stood any chance of getting up there. The marker clipped firmly onto the net. Great. I'd created some sort of creeper marker fishing net assembly. Sometimes I terrify myself with my creative genius. I'd successfully got the marker into a position near the top of the needle simply by using the kind of lateral thinking that can get you institutionalized. There was no telling where it went. Hold on. I've been here before. Haven't I? Initials had been carved into the rock. Initials carved into the stone read F.K. Frederick Ketch had been here. 3 shallow holes had been made in the rock. Joining the dots would make an equilateral triangle. It was Bronson's theodolite, now being put to a nobler use than petty larceny. The hill I was on had reminded me of a camel's hump as I'd climbed up it. Now I had to see what I could see. It was a good cave for hiding treasure in. Shame about the flooding problem. It was a good cave for hiding treasure in. Shame about the flooding problem. A needle rock. Eye of the needle? A needle rock. Eye of the needle? Heck, Ketch could have hidden his treasure anywhere. This island's full of hiding places. Heck. It was the marker which I had raised up the needle of rock. It was the marker which I had raised up the needle of rock. Heck. Ketch could have... Heck. I could see the marker I had fastened on the rock down in the forest, and right in line with it, that had to be where Ketch had hidden his treasure.
The track led in the direction of the rock I'd seen through the theodolite.
It was the Tower of London, originally built by the French, naturally. I was too busy to play the tourist. The crate was a good hiding place, but I couldn't stay there forever. I couldn't open the crate, and I couldn't move it. It was risky, but I thought I could get to the next crate unseen. It was the first crate I had hidden behind. The crate sheltered me from unfriendly eyes. The crate was sealed and too heavy to move. The gangplank crossed a collection of heaving litter. I suppose the Thames was under it somewhere. It was a porthole to the main cabin. It was the door to the boat's main cabin. It looked like the door to some sort of utility locker. Metal hooks had been welded onto each side of the door frame. A mop for swabbing the deck stood against the wall. A ladder gave access to the cabin's roof. A mop for swabbing the deck stood against the wall. The guard would... The Xibalba princess lay at anchor just below Tower Bridge. I knew I'd found the right ship as soon as I saw Pablo at the rail. Pablo would probably shoot me on sight. It was Tower Bridge, A magnificent mess of mock Gothic architecture and Victorian engineering. My business was here, not on Tower Bridge. Got you.
But the collar woman was there. They'll know it was me.
But you have the stone. The right stone, you're sure?
Yes, of course, it's the Jaguar stone. No possible mistake. Here it is. Karzak, please. The police will be looking for me soon. You're going to get me out of the country, aren't you?
Stop your whining, Oublier. Do you have any idea what this stone symbolizes?
I thought you just wanted it to frighten the natives.
Fool. I intend to cast this stone into the sea.
But why? It's unique.
Exactly. With it gone, the Mayan priest's plan to destroy Tezcatlipoca cannot succeed.
I can assure you that Tezcatlipoca is a mythical figure.
Such a small mind you live in. Tezcatlipoca is real. I have seen him in my dreams. We have spoken of his plans for this world. We have spoken of your part in these plans.
My part?
He told me you would be useful. He told me how to crush your spirit by turning you to drugs.
My wife died. You know that full well. She was my world, my everything.
And now, you are no longer useful. She called out your name as she died, you know.
What? What are you saying?
And then they thought you'd done it. It all worked perfectly.
You? It was you? You bastard! You monster! For the love of God, Karzak!
Which one?
Oublier lay sprawled across the table. There were no signs of life, but I checked that Oublier really was beyond help. We were going to need the stone to thwart Karzak. I knew Oublier would have approved. It was the Jaguar stone, all right.
Pirates? I was about to make good my escape when...
Cut! Who the hell are you?
I can explain everything.
Don't bother.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were making a movie.
So who are you?
Stobart. George Stobart. 2 B's and 2 T's.
It's okay, Mr. Hawks. He wasn't in the shot.
Hawks? This had to be Carlton Hawks, the newest enfant terrible of Tinseltown. I'd read about him. Mailroom boy makes good. Nice to know it was still possible to get to be a director armed with only an encyclopedic knowledge of postal charges.
Stay out of the way, surfer boy. I'll deal with you later.
Surfer boy?
The kid looked more like a common street punk than a movie star. For some reason, the makeup department had given him a liberal sprinkling of zits. It was a plank balanced precariously on a barrel. The stockade was surrounded by a dry moat filled with sharp wooden stakes. It was a woman with huge boots and an impressive cleavage. I'd seen a lot of strange things on this island, but here was a bush that was buzzing. The great director. Well, that's what his pose was supposed to say. He reminded me of Ed Wood. It was a camera, mounted on a precarious dolly, or whatever they call them. It was the cameraman. He was a middle-aged man with a pock-marked face. It was a plate of buns. It was a pile of pancakes which were being devoured by the big guy. He couldn't get enough of them. There was a pot of delicious-looking maple syrup on the table. I wasn't going to upset Hawks anymore by tampering with his props. No way was I going to try and jump it. Those stakes looked real. Hi there, George Stobart.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Haiku McEwen.
I may not be making millions of dollars, and I may not have thousands of nubile, if uncritical, young women lusting for my body, but I've got something that you haven't. This small piece of coal.
Man, you're getting freaky on me.
Is your name really Haiku?
Yeah. It was my mom's idea, okay? When I was born, I was so small and perfectly formed I reminded her of a Japanese poem.
Well, I guess it could have been worse. She could have called you Limerick.
That's my middle name.
Did you always want to be an actor?
I don't think of what I do as acting, man.
You're not alone.
It's more like I'm the voice of my generation. What I'm saying for the kids on the street.
Which is what? I'm crap, I'm going nowhere?
Huh? What are you saying, man?
Stobart, get out of shot. Positions, everybody.
I'll get a flip chart and explain it to you later, Haiku.
Haiku, baby, are you ready?
Okay, man. Which scene is this?
You've been captured by Silver's accomplice, Pirate Babs, who's fallen in love with you. Okay, people, top of page 76, Sharon.
What about my big speech?
It's been cut. Everybody ready?
Up to speed.
Quiet on the set. Okay, let's make magic.
Oh, please.
And action!
Why don't you forget that dumb old squire and his bunch of merry men? Can't you see we were made for each other?
I know, but Squire Trelawney saved my life, Captain Babs. Why, if it hadn't have been for him, that giant octopus would have made mincemeat out of me.
But right now he thinks you're a traitor. He's locked you out of the stockade, Jimbo.
That 20-foot high wall with spikes might have kept out Silver's men, but it ain't gonna stop me.
Oh, Jimbo.
And cut! Good heavy breathing, Sharon.
Natch, I'm a pro.
Did you get the heavy breathing, Flash?
Did I ever, boss? We should have made this movie in 3D.
Haiku, you were great. We're setting up for the stunt now, so get a bite to eat. Savage, on set, damn it.
It was a plate of... The bun was so stale it felt like a small rock.
Hey there, I'm George Stobart.
Well, hi, handsome. You're cute. I wish it was you playing the lead male instead of that kid.
I can't act, ma'am.
So what? I bet you can kiss.
I couldn't believe I was having this conversation with a real movie star. I found this reed in the swamp on the other side of the island.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I used it to shoot a poisoned dart at a wild boar. It was a real-life drama, not just a scene from a movie.
Right.
She was having trouble with the whole real life is not a movie concept. Take a look at this ancient Mayan artifact.
That's just a hunk of stone with a picture scratched on it.
In a way, I guess. You don't happen to have seen anything similar, have you?
No.
What do you think of these?
Ew, they're awful.
You have no idea how much you've just gone up in my estimation. Would you like this bun?
All right. Oh, wait a minute. Hawks is watching me. Don't let him see it. Oh, he's looking right at me.
What's the matter?
Never mind. Just put that cake away and pretend you weren't talking to me.
What part are you playing?
Pirate Babs, the ruthless and passionate lady buccaneer. It's a great part. I get to kiss a lot, and I kick ass. Like the boots?
What's it like sharing the spotlight with an actor who's young enough to be your son?
What do you mean?
Mr. Hawks, I was wondering if...
Not now. I got a movie to make. Time for the stunt, Savage. It's a short run, bounce on the plank, and somersault over the spikes in the stockade wall.
What?
Plank, spikes, wall, over. Easy, a child could do it.
At my age? You must be joking.
I could replace you, Savage.
Yeah, with an arthritic baboon.
Replace me? Lummy, this could be the last stunt I ever perform. I need to think about this. Get myself in the right frame of mind.
A suicidal one would fit the bill for that stunt.
Fine. You do that. In the meantime, we'll break for lunch.
Oh, great. I'm famished.
Stay right there and meditate, Savage.
Tight-ass little git.
You know what the locals call this place, don't you?
No, but I guess you're gonna tell me.
Zombie Island.
Zombies?
A crazed gleam came into his eye.
Get me the writers. Get me makeup. I want zombie pirates in this movie by the end of today.
Who's the leading lady?
Don't you recognize her? That's Sharon Kowalski.
Oh, right. I'd never heard of her. What's the name of the movie?
Are you trying to be funny?
No.
It's Treasure Island, the only book I ever read twice.
I don't recall any girls in Treasure Island.
Gotta think box office. People like that kind of thing.
What other changes have you made to the story?
Just a few minor details.
You haven't written out Long John Silver.
Are you questioning my integrity as an artist? Of course Silver's still in it. We've even hung on to Captain Flint.
His parrot.
His trained attack falcon. Why do you think Blind Pew's blind?
Did you say you've changed the ending of the story?
That's right.
Do they find the treasure?
Yeah, but that comes later, after they've escaped the volcanic eruption.
A volcano?
Sure. Krakatoa.
All the millions spent on a movie, and nobody thinks to buy an atlas. Who's playing Jim Hawkins?
Haiku McEwen. Oh, don't tell me you've never heard of him.
I don't go to the movies too often.
Jeez. Haiku is only the hottest teen star in Hollywood. That's why we're on such a tight schedule. Gotta film the close-ups before he hits puberty.
Hi, I'm George Stobart.
My name's Harris. Most people call me Flash.
You're the cameraman, right?
That's right.
Why'd they call you Flash? You used to be a stills photographer?
Nope.
I decided not to pursue the subject. What do you think of Haiku McEwen?
What's to think? The kid will have earned more by the time his balls drop than I'll earn in a lifetime. Good luck to him.
Hey, Haiku.
Yeah, man.
You're playing Jim Hawkins, right?
Jimbo. I had Mr. Hawks change his name.
Jimbo Hawkins.
Right. Would you like a bun?
No way, man. I have to be careful what I eat.
Yeah. Never eat anything smarter than yourself. Hi.
Hi, gorgeous.
What do you think of Hawk's treatment of Treasure Island?
It's okay, I guess. I never saw the original.
It's a book. One of my favorites.
Really? The novelization's out already?
He was a middle-aged man with a pockmarked face. Hi, George Stobart.
Hello, mate.
You're English, right?
Oh, you don't miss much, do you? Bert Savage.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
What's that, mate? Stone axe?
No, it's just a piece of polished stone.
Very nice indeed. Shine it up a bit, you get a few bob for that.
How long have you been in the movie business?
Flipping years, mate. Absolutely flipping years. I was in the army before that. Thought to myself, you've been risking your bleeding neck every day, why not cash in on it like?
So you became a stuntman, just like that?
Nah, of course not. I had to do the training first.
What training does a stuntman do?
First they told me to stand in the road. Then they rammed me down. Straight up. Drove at me with a car. I couldn't believe it. I was up on the bonnet and over the other side before I realised he wasn't stopping. Then they threw me downstairs a bit and gives me a certificate.
Did you ever work with Carol Climax?
The Dirty Dachshund? I'll say. Flipping princess, mate.
I heard she was very beautiful.
Mind you, she acted like one too. Ordering this, demanding that.
Did you ever meet Bertrand Oubier?
Meet him? No. I saw him a few times though. He didn't like his wife being in films.
Do you think Oubier murdered his wife?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Mind you, there were plenty of people who could have done her in.
I thought the public loved her.
Yeah, but people who knew her saw the other side.
Would you like this pot of syrup?
No thanks, mate. I don't like the stuff.
Would you like a bun?
No way. The last one I tried cracked my dentures.
Would you like a pancake, Bert?
Don't mind if I do.
The pancake oozed maple syrup all over Bert's chins.
Here, you put bloody syrup on that pancake. Now it's messed me all up.
Those hornets were not pleased.
Get that camera rolling. This could be good. Cut and printed. That was brilliant, folks. Okay, the next scene is down on the beach. This is where Hawkins finds the treasure in the Cave of the Crabs.
Would those be giant killer crabs by any chance?
Giant mutant killer crabs with attitude.
There it was, the rock I'd seen from the camel's hump. Now that I was close up, I could make out a small cave near the top of the pillar.
Hey, you! Trouble!
Who, me?
I want you to stay right where I can keep an eye on you.
I'm not one of your lackeys, Hawks. I go where I like.
Not here, you don't. The movie company has rented this island for the duration. You're trespassing. Do as you're told or you're gone.
It was Carlton Hawks, the megalomaniac director.
Hey, surfer boy, stay out of there.
Oh, what is it this time?
That's the wardrobe tent. You've got no business to be going in there.
Looked like I wasn't gonna get to play dress-up.
The little tent was like a canvas outhouse. The cave mouth was huge. It looked like an obvious place to hide treasure, and that was probably why it wasn't the one Ketch had chosen. No point in going there. It wasn't the cave I'd seen from the camel's hump. The truck carrying the camera had sunk into the wet sand. It was Carlton Hawks, the megalomaniac director. It was the cameraman. He didn't look happy. It was a portable movie camera. Poor old Bert looked in a bad way. Wasn't a surprise, considering what I'd put him through at the stockade. It was Haiku McEwen, marketing's answer to talent. There it was, the column of rock I'd seen from the camel's hump. It was a lot taller than I'd expected. Near the top of the towering rock was what appeared to be a cave mouth.
Flash?
Yep.
We can't film at the Needle Rock because the camera's bogged down, right?
You got it, champ.
So why can't we use the portable camera instead?
You know, that's a pretty smart idea.
That camera wasn't going anywhere. Hey, Haiku.
Yeah, man.
There was nothing else I wanted to ask him.
Hi, Bert.
Don't you eye me. Fine friend you turned out to be.
What's the problem?
Huh.
I've had a great idea. How about you dress up as Jim Hawkins and climb up to that cave over there?
What cave? That cave? You must think I'm balmy. I did me back in being chased by them hornets over that flaming stockade wall. No way am I going up there.
Well, that narrowed the field. What films have you worked on in the past?
Remember Death Stalker of the 10th grade? The psychotic biker what crashed into the school bus? That was me. Or what about They Prayed to Satan? I was the bloke in the hospital scene. You know, the one who caught fire, fell through the flipping skylight.
I don't think I caught those. Must be cool getting to travel the world like this.
Yeah, nice here, innit? My Beryl used to love the seaside. Day out at Clacton. Bloody smashing. A pint of jelly deals washed down with a bottle of brown. Quick feel on a big wheel and a stroll around the town. Course, them days, you could live like a flipping king on 10 bob a night. Tombola, frothy coffee at the cafe or the prom.
You know, I don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. Look, Bert, what's wrong?
You got a bloody nerve. If I didn't know better, I'd have thought you gave me that pancake just so them hornets would go for me.
Oh, Bert, you've wounded me. How can you think that?
Well, by looking at the evidence.
I don't know why you still want to be a stuntman anyway.
This is all I know, isn't it? If I don't do this, what do I do?
Well, how about being a stunt coordinator?
Being a what?
You stand around in a big jacket and a baseball cap, telling the stunt people what to do.
I can do that.
Hey, you've done the job for years and you're not dead. That's gotta be good for morale.
Well, I don't know.
You get your own megaphone.
I'll do it.
George Stobart, international adventurer and roaming careers advisor.
What's it like to work with Carlton Hawk?
Flipping misery, mate.
There was nothing else I wanted to ask the cameraman.
You don't look happy.
Why should I be happy? Look at that cave. It's supposed to be where the treasure is.
So?
Look at it. It's crap. Does that look like the sort of place anybody would hide treasure? I should have had props build me a proper damn cave. A cinematic cave.
What do you mean, a cinematic cave?
One with drama. Danger! One that looks like the mouth of a big stone skull would be cool, but I'd settle for drama and danger.
Why don't you use that cave up on the rock pillar at the end of the beach?
We don't have a stuntman anymore.
Hey, I'll do the stunt.
I appreciate the offer, but if you fall, you'll sue us.
No, I won't.
Everybody hear that?
I heard it.
Good enough, we're covered. Got any experience?
Death-defying leaps, desperate fistfights, getting caught in explosions, you name it.
Okay, people, move out. We're shooting the scene at the end of the beach.
No, we're not. The camera's still bogged down.
Shoot, I forgot about that. No go, Stobart. We'll have to use this cave after all.
I was talking to Mr. Savage, the stuntman. Is he all right?
What makes you say that?
He's not making any sense.
The guy's English.
I've been talking to the cameraman. He's got a portable camera.
So?
So you can use the cave in that rock pillar at the end of the beach. That's a dramatic cave if ever I saw one.
We ain't got a stabilized harness for it. The camera'll wobble.
Did D.W. Griffiths have a stabilized harness when he made Birth of a Nation?
You're right, damn it. Hitchcock, Wells, none of them needed one. For crying out loud, Sam Raimi stabilized his camera on a plank. Props, get me a plank. We're gonna wing it. Hot dog. We're gonna do a cinema verite pirate movie. George, get to wardrobe. We're gonna make you a star.
On my way. Ready when you are, Mr. Hawks. It was the stone which Ketch had captured from the Spanish. The Eagle Stone.
I returned to Quaramonte and found that Georges had left a message with Conchita. He'd already left for the Indian village, so I hurried to catch up with him. When I arrived, I found a scene of desolation. These sunglasses are Georges. Georges, where are you? Titiboko, I'm almost glad to see you. You little asshole, what happened here? Are you responsible for this? And where's Georges? Have you seen him? He was pointing to the remains of a burned-out hut. One thing I was sure of, those underpants weren't George's. Maybe Georges can make use of these. He wouldn't have wanted it.